Hello, Shadow. I'm so and so. Who are you? Oh, nice to meet you. Or maybe it's not so nice to meet you. And yeah, now that we've met, we don't need to revisit this again. We don't need to see each other again. I'm just going to break up with you. It's not you, it's me. I'm different. I'm moving on. Boom. Well, hello there, peeps. You are watching The Real Manifestation Talk with your girl, Dina Haynes, where I break down Abraham Hicks and Neville Goddard manifesting techniques for the everyday person like yourself. What is up? Yes, I was gone for another week, busy doing book stuff, but I'm back and I have a couple of fantastic videos coming up. Today's video is going to be about shadow work. What is shadow work? And how do you do it? I actually didn't know what that term meant until I looked it up. And I actually have experience with it. I just never called it shadow work. But before we get into it, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you like this content. There's more coming, and there's plenty more on the channel that you probably haven't watched yet. So subscribe, hit the little bell icon, and comment down below with your manifesting questions and your law of attraction questions, because I will devote a whole video answering your question. And you're definitely gonna want to stay tuned till the end of the video, because I do a yes or no tarot pick a card reading. So whatever burning questions you have about your life at this moment, you will get a definitive answer by the end of the video. If you're interested in getting some one-on-one manifestation coaching, check out my link down below in the description, where you can book an appointment with me today. And now that that's taken care of, let's start talking about your shadow. Me and my shadow. Oh my God, that's so cheesy. Okay, so first of all, let's start with a meaning. What is shadow work? Shadow work is the process by which you face hidden parts of yourself in order to learn how to accept and embrace the real you as a whole. When I found out this meaning, I realized, okay, this is something that of course I did when I really started to become conscious of pursuing my spiritual journey, that I was on a spiritual journey, and that I was deliberately trying to find the path to manifest my best life. This was honestly in the beginning of that path. And you're definitely going to want to stay tuned till next week's video, because in that video I'm going to talk about ancestral curses and things like that, where you're trying to break the ties of the past. And I do have experience with that. But shadow work is important to your spiritual journey because I think people misunderstand what it's there for. Some people think as soon as they learn about shadow work, you start fixating on it, right? Because you think it's, I don't know, that it's key to moving forward. But I first want to say, shadow work is important for figuring out how to align to your higher self, to your inner being. But it is not something that you are meant to focus on. Shadow work can be something that kind of crawls up through your subconscious and lands on your conscious plane, meaning it's something you discover about yourself, deep held beliefs that you didn't realize that you had. And the only reason that it becomes a problem is if it's something that doesn't fit with how you want to see your life going, or the direction that you want to see your life going in. Okay, so how do I fix it? How do I do the shadow work? That's the thing about law of attraction, is it's not about effort, right? Efforting, this is like a trigger word that Abraham uses, that when you're efforting, meaning you're trying like a little too hard, you are going against law of attraction. Efforting really is all about resistance. There is resistance in trying to manipulate your environment in order to get what you want. There's no manipulation required. It's literally just you controlling the way you think, your thoughts. So when this shadow work or these maybe shadow issues come forward or crawl up out of the depths of your subconscious, the lesson within it is to bring to light how far from alignment that you are. So, in other words, if something bubbles up from your subconscious or your shadow that feels like it's a bad thing, like maybe it makes you feel like, I can't believe I feel that way, like, and it's something that you want to change because you're going in this different, more positive direction, and you feel like, is this what's dragging me down? Well, in essence, yes. But the practice of dealing with it is just to acknowledge and to set an intention to go forth like a step one moment where you are revealing and learning more about yourself and what your truest desires are. But once you acknowledge that, that is it. That is the work. It's just a moment, having a moment of clarity. And I tend to think that our spirit guides, our inner being, bring these things up. They bring situations into our field because, look, if it comes up and confronts you in your 3D reality, it's because you attracted that. You attracted that information into your field of consciousness. Not everything that we're confronted with, we are meant to carry on with ourselves for infinity. Some of those things are just meant to show us, hey, this is kind of how you're thinking around this stuff, but it's not good. Or you determine whether it's good for you or not good for you. And if it's good for you, then continue on with that kind of behavior and that kind of thinking. But if it's not good for you, if it's something that's not working with you and you're feeling this angst over it, then it's time to acknowledge that, because just acknowledging it and realizing that that's how you really feel, that is really just the message. Then just leave it behind. Just go, okay, now I know that I want to step in a different direction from that particular shadow, that particular realization or way of thinking. And then just leave it there. There's really no work involved. It should be called like shadow realization. Like, meet your shadow. Hello, shadow. I'm so-and-so. Nice to meet you. Or maybe it's not so nice to meet you. And yeah, now that we've met, we don't need to revisit this again. We don't need to see each other again. I'm just going to break up with you. It's not you, it's me. I'm different. I'm moving on. Boom. So the reason I laugh about leaving it behind is because the things that you don't want in your life are the things that you don't want to focus on. So like if you are living in the past, constantly focusing on the past, what happened in the past, all these past hurts, like I can't believe he did that to me. I can't believe she treated me that way. I can't believe life is like this. The longer you focus on the past, the more you make it present. So when you focus on the past remains in your present. You get that? In order to break out of that cycle, that loop, and move on to bigger and better things, you have to think about bigger and better things. It is just that simple. So when you're doing your shadow work, the work really is to leave it behind. It's just to realize this is a step one moment. I'm realizing something about myself. It's new information, but maybe new information that comes from your past. You don't need to carry it forward, but in order to not carry it forward, you have to let it go. Lose that luggage on the plane and let them take us. Let somebody else have that luggage. Because going forward, you will have other things to fill and fulfill your life, better things. Okay, so that was the message for this video. And now it is time to do the yes or no tarot pick card. Have you thought of your question yet? Well, don't worry, because I'm going to give you 3 seconds to think about it starting now. All right, do you have your question? Let's shuffle. All right, here we go, guys. Let's see what the answer is. Ooh, it's a yes, but it looks like a struggling kind of card. We have got the Five of Swords, and the message of this card is defeat. But all is not lost. There's a woman standing over you with like two swords, and you've got swords around you, but there's none of them are piercing you. So that kind of tells me that whatever your question is, even though there's defeat, it all is not lost. Okay, so let's check it out. It says, there is great sorrow, loss, and defeat in your life. A tragic situation has occurred or is taking place at the present time. It is senseless to keep on fighting. Only a further loss of energy will result. It's almost like you've been fighting this battle, right? And it's saying, I mean, honestly, in the words of, in terms of law of attraction, it's all about, if you're fighting and battling really anything, that's all about resistance and control. And these are the things that work in opposition to manifesting your greatest life, because law of attraction will just give you whatever it is that you're focusing on. So if you're focused on a battle or a topic that you feel combative with, all your focus is doing is bringing more of that stuff into your space. And I would imagine that if you're battling it, I mean, your truest desire is to get away from that, or to not have that circumstance in your life. So how do you start? How do you really battle something that you don't want? By just turning your focus away from it. This life and law of attraction is all, and manifesting is all about letting go of the stuff that you don't want. Just let it go. Release it. Letting go of control. And the only way to bring good things into your life is to focus on good things. That literally is the only way. So it's the reason why you cannot manifest your best life if you are focused on either your past, or if you're focused on stuff that you don't want. That it's not law of detraction, it's law of attraction. So for instance, you eliminate a bad mood by focusing on something good. Everything is in the direction of good. You resolve past hurts by focusing on the good in a relationship, even when it seems like there is none. The point is to find something within that relationship or that person or that situation, or your life situation that is good to focus upon. The way to change the environment around you is to literally change your thoughts about the environment around you. I definitely struggled with this when I was working my old job. It was backbreaking, hard, and also, making other people feel good when I just didn't. It just was a physical, hard job. And I couldn't focus on my creativity and the things that I really wanted to do. So the only way for me to turn that around and start manifesting better stuff in my life was to focus on the good about the job, which seemed counterproductive at the time. I thought, how am I going to do that? But that literally was the key. And once I started facing that, which really was shadow work, right? The more I thought about how terrible this job was, the more I would go to the job and it would feel terrible. That was just the fact of it. The more I focused on how terrible it was, the harder it became. What made it easy was focusing on the truths that I could do it, that spirit had my back, that I had all the energy that I could possibly need to do the job, even though I would come away and feel depleted afterwards. As I was in it, I knew that I always had the energy to do it and to make it work and to do my best work. And I did. And once I focused on the fact that that was true, I just felt lighter about it. It became easier because my thoughts weren't dragged down in the mud with how terrible it was. And then all of a sudden, my life started to shift. And the more things that I found grateful in my life, the things that I wanted for my life, it's almost like, what you're seeking in your desire. So say you want a life of more freedom. The more freedom that you find in your current situation, the more you will draw yourself toward that freedom that you're looking for in the new and the next situation, right? So in other words, whatever your manifestation is or your desire is, find the things that are key elements in that desired situation that you are looking for. Look for them in your current situation. It's not going to look exactly the same, obviously, but when you find those desirable things in your current situation, you will draw yourself toward what your main desire and manifestation is. I feel like that's huge. That's like, I hope you guys heard that. So yeah, I kind of want to repeat myself. The things that are key elements in that desired situation that you are looking for, look for them in your current situation. Anyway, that is the message for you. Your question was a yes, so rock on. But just realize that stop beating that dead horse and start reaching for what it is that you're desiring in your current situation. Boom. Oh, I hope that helped you guys. This was a fun video for me to do, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you did, hit that thumbs up button, hello, and subscribe. Like, what are you doing with your life? And hit the notification bell and put your manifesting law of attraction questions down below, because I will devote a whole video to it if you'd like. If not, stay tuned to next week, because I have a video lined up that really kind of ties in with this one, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. So I'll see you then.